Hunger is a solvable problem, and yet almost 1 billion people go hungry every day.
With so many people hungry around the world, the reality is that we as a global community are actually quite wasteful of food. About 1/3 of all food that is produced is wasted.
And food banking is the only bridge that tries to bring the two together.
We knew that there was food banking going on outside the United States. We were familiar with it in Argentina. We knew there was very strong food banking in Canada and Mexico. We reached out to those organizations and shared with them our vision of doing what we were each doing nationally and expanding it globally. Bob and I set off with Chris Rebstock and others to create what is today the Global Food Banking Network.
One of the early successes of GFN was our work in South Africa.
At the time, there were a couple of small feeding programs in South Africa, but there was no organized infrastructure for the delivery of food banking services.
What we realized was that we needed a very broad-based coalition.
And so GFN, partnering with the local leaders to build a community of stakeholders that eventually launched food banks all around the country.
Every time we go into a place like South Africa, we learn. And we learned some new things about how their system could be exported to other models.
No matter where you live in the world, there's hungry people. And we really believe that the way to combat that is to have local organizations and local solutions. At the Global Food Banking Network, we want those solutions to be locally owned. So we partner with local leaders. We really try to empower those that want to find food banks and launch them, to give them the business plans that they need to help them understand how they can build a good governance model for their boards, how they can connect with local funding resources, and how to make sure they have the food standards in place to handle food safely, nutritiously, and interact properly with social service agencies.
We sort of connect the dots, and we've connected people like General Mills, Kellogg's with food banks around the world so they can take advantage of food that they have and see that they go to meet a great need.
General Mills first became involved with the Global Food Banking Network because as our business expanded, we want to ensure that the philanthropic arm of the company also expanded to those areas where we were living and working. And we were really proud to say that today we've actually made more than $5 million in food donations to support this organization and its member food banks all around the world.
The Caterpillar Foundation is a proud partner with the Global Food Banking Network. Our partnership began over 5 years ago and spans multiple countries such as Mexico, UK, and Singapore. Global Food Banking Network's mission aligns well with ours as they play an important role in helping to reduce hunger.
We provide training and technical assistance. We work with global partners who can bring different kinds of resources to the food banks.
As food banks grow, we help them accelerate. And once they reach a mature phase, we connect them to their peers around the world. The Food Bank Leadership Institute over the past decade has really become one of the premier events where people who are fighting hunger in their communities can come together, can exchange stories, can talk about connections, and really, frankly, to inspire.
There are food bankers from all over the world who come together once a year and learn from each other, who figure out together how to solve the problems that are common to a food bank. That creates a cadre that they can then draw on that doesn't have to come through us.
Y hay unas buenas prácticas que de no existir un global food banking no tendríamos cómo acceder a ellas.
And GFN, through the connections they make, through putting together events such as FBLI, through sharing best practices, played a pivotal role in how quickly we were able to establish the organisation and how quickly we were able to build up relationships.
One of the really exciting things about a food bank is once you've built one, you can't kill it.
We're building a community infrastructure that has life way beyond simply the provision of food.
So much of the conversation around hunger is not just about the quantity of calories that you're giving, but also about the quality of the food that you're providing. And a lot of food banks in our network are doing incredibly innovative things to advance nutrition, and we want to come along beside them as their partner, support those efforts, and really help them expand that work.
We certify the food banks. We have a set of operating standards for administration and operations.
I think one of the huge benefits of having GFN certification is it makes us stand out amongst the crowd.
En el año 2007, 2 bancos de alimentos de Colombia empiezan como miembros de la Asociación Mundial de Bancos de Alimentos. Y a partir de ese instante se inicia el fortalecimiento de la GFN a todos los miembros de Colombia.
I think GFN has played a pivotal role in addressing both food waste and hunger.
In just 10 years, it's expanded to connect more than 750 food banks, and to have that significant of a global footprint after only a decade, I think is really quite a feat.
The work Global Food Banking Network does is a great example of the good work we accomplish when we work together.
They are passionate about the work, and they are really impacting lives around the world by helping to nourish children and families who would otherwise go hungry.
I think one of the biggest successes of the Global Food Banking Network is that it made it 10 years. And with Lisa Moon as our new CEO and her leadership and her vision, I'm just so excited about where the organization goes in the next 10 years.
We really wouldn't be where we are today, achieving what we've been able to do without the support of GFN. And I know that I, without fail, will end this week, as I have done every single FBLI I attended, inspired and motivated to continue fighting against hunger and fighting against food waste through food banking.